as we move on to another great article, check this out, everybody. This is from Collider on a website called www.twitter.com. That's what it says. People can call it whatever they want, but it says twitter.com. Star Trek Prodigy's fan campaign mirrored the one that saved the original series.
Aww.
So
I love that.
Yeah.
it's a great read. It's a great article, but I think we all know what it's talking about, right?
Mhm.
Meg's mama. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So
We get to see it in just a few days again.
Yes.
It's almost back on TV.
Awesome.
I have my cousins primed. Everybody's like ready to.
Nice.
I'm going to add it to everybody's Netflix profile.
Mhm.
So can you guys give us a quick history lesson on Bijo Trimble, what she did? Because as far as I know, it feels like this campaign must have worked faster than the Bijo Trimble one, just because through internet things move more quickly. But I don't really know enough about my 1960s history to know if that's true.
Because that was
so
letter writing, right?
basically,
Yeah, it's letter writing.
so Star Trek season 2 was going to be canceled after season 2. Which, by the way, if it had been, there wouldn't have been enough episodes for it to be able to ever be in syndication, and it would have been gone for forever.
Right.
So that's like, in addition to it giving us season 3, it also gave us syndicated and then everything after that.
Yeah.
But she and her husband and one friend, I can't remember the friend's name, they basically, like, there was this grassroots underground Star Trek, like, fan magazines and like clubs popping around the country because it just had such a cult following from day one, and people were so devoted to it. So basically, like, through all these like grassroots connections, they started this letter writing campaign. I want to say it was 60,000 letters that got sent into NBC, and then they actually interrupted one of the last episodes of season 2's airing, or like went over the credits or something to announce to like the audience, like, Star Trek season 3 is going to go on. Please stop sending us letters. And the rest is history.
I love that.
That's awesome.
She's amazing. And like, one of my favorite things every year is when people, like, not weirdly, but like certain Star Trek groups, like Yaz from LA Away Team, they'll post her address and Larry will post it, and you can send her birthday presents or birthday
Why would
presents
they
or
dox that poor lady?
birthday cards every year. It's so amazing.
Stop her.
Socials
Poor
too.
thing.
Yeah, she's awesome. And she went to the one of the recent Star Trek, I want to say Picard, Picard finale.
Yeah.
And as she like walked down the red carpet, everybody clapped for her.
Oh.
It was the
favorite
Picard
Star Trek fan moments.
season 3 premiere, if I remember
Nice.
correctly.
That's awesome.
Wonderful.
Our good buddy, one Trek fan, Lisa, says, I have letters from Bijo Trimble in my collection.
Wow.
Wow.
Does it smell like history? All right. So let's continue on about this a little bit.
And also, I'm just going to say, so iconic that when I bought her birthday card at STLV this year, I was like, oh, this is for Bijo Trimble's birthday. And then the lady selling it to me had me give Bijo, like, her Bijo's address so she could also send one. I was like, oh, I love Star Trek. So good.
Me too.
So awesome.
Yeah. So, Dr. Noor, would you mind reading a couple quotes about Prodigy here and how this is similar to it?
All in for reading about Prodigy. So there's a quote from, I think it's Kevin Hageman.
Yeah.
I would say when the news came, it was devastating. This is referring to, I assume, the original cancellation. We had so much faith and hope in our show, but we and our crew felt so small in knowing this and just trying to keep this engine going. But then you got the love from the fans. Dan went on to say, I remember thinking, oh, the fans are not going to like this.
Understatement.
Both brothers recall expecting some level of support from the fans. They were blown away by the magnitude of the response. Kevin noted that he was reminded of how fans rallied around the original series back in the 1960s, as we heard from Dr. Anne-Marie, getting the show back and eventually spawning the sprawling franchise we have today. He said, quote, yeah, I expected some support, but holy cow, it was amazing. Literally, it was just bringing back the memories of the original series with them. Beyond the vocal support on social media and via petitions, Dan noted that fans went above and beyond, quote, selling out the toys and the books, unquote, and even flying a banner to save the series over Hollywood. It just built and built and built, said Dan.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what's cool about it is we all remember it very well, and we're all kind of like sharing and tweeting and going nuts for it and banging the drum. Like we were part of history in a way that maybe 50 or 60 years from now, people will be talking about this movement.
Yeah.
And they talk after, in some kind of website that talks about and chronicles the 16 seasons of Prodigy,
And I have to say too, like Gene Roddenberry, I feel like when I listen to Larry's Trekland and also Trek Files, his podcast, you hear all these stories about Gene Roddenberry, and it just like becomes so obvious he was a marketing genius and also just cared about the show. Like before it even aired, he would go to sci-fi conventions and like tell people there's this new show coming out, and like we have these sci-fi writers like signed on to do episodes, and he like became friends with them, and it's just like amazing. And I have to like. The other thing that sort of reminded me of like that time was when Aaron Wolke was at like one of the sites that the airplane flew over to like really rally the troops and get great pictures. And I was just like, I love this like whole community of the fans and the creatives coming together. And that's so 1960 also. It's amazing.
Yeah, and I remember Anthony.
Bonnie Gordon was there.
Anthony of Trek Movie was there as well. So like media was out there like getting pictures, and everybody, it was all a big freak out of who could get the best picture of a plane that's super far away. That's not easy. If anybody in the world has ever, and I know this happens all the time, you go, wow, the moon looks so beautiful tonight. I'm going to take a picture. And it's the most useless. And it's a dot. And then you try to show, look, the moon was really, no, it's that. Is that a star? No, that's the moon.
Gosh.
So it's got to be really hard to do it for a plane too, is my point.
Yeah, plus like the atmosphere pressures changing and the winds and routes and stuff. Like it was so hard to coordinate that day. Routes. Like,
it's like it didn't fly over New York.
Yeah, it was amazing.
You guys and your rat problem. Barf. Just kidding. Rats are cute as hell. And everybody knows it.
Especially with that pizza.
It's true.
That's like their iconic thing, isn't it?
That's like why at New York Comic Con, that's the merch.
There's a little bit more of a quote here from the Hagemans as well. Dan continues, I reflect on it a lot. We were just talking about even from the conception of the show to how it started on Nickelodeon and then Paramount Plus bought it. And there's all this tumultuousness around the show and making it with COVID. We really feel like the little spaceship that could, just trying to get into Starfleet. So we're so happy to be able to reveal that the adventure doesn't end with them getting to Starfleet. There's more. Isn't that interesting, though, that like the real world happenings around Prodigy are the same theme that Prodigy itself is basically about, right?
And I'm just like so excited for Christmas morning because we're going to wake up and there are going to be new little Trekkies running around in the fandom. It's going to be the best Christmas miracle ever. And I feel like we haven't had that huge influx of like young kids getting into the franchise.
That's true.
At least since TNG. Like just because of how much it was syndicated and at what times and how many channels. I can't wait.
Do we know if Netflix is releasing other shows also on Christmas Day, or is that the only thing releasing?
I haven't checked yet, but all I know is that they release at 3 a.m. because I've been following it so hard for The Crown.
Oh, so it's like going to be midnight Pacific time. Interesting.
I hope they release other things so people are maybe going in who hadn't heard of Star Trek and watching the other thing and like, oh, what's this? And like you may also enjoy. Click on that.
Yeah.
Well, I hope it gets like in the algorithm high enough since it's been aired on something else, so it's not like a true Netflix original. So I've heard talk about that before on how that can mess up the algorithm. But like whatever, I'm going to be 2 thumbs upping that on like every person's account in my family, which is a big family.
Awesome.
Yeah, I was trying to check to see. I was trying to check to see if Netflix had like a coming soon section, but I couldn't find it just now.
You have
I'm
to
sure
check on like Decoder or something. something.
South or north? I'm not good with that.
Josh Patton says, also don't sleep on Majel. That catalog selling scripts and memorabilia was her idea, I think. That helped keep things alive. Yeah.
Right. Great point. So, so Netflix, 3 a.m. Eastern time at midnight Pacific time. That's going to be really important. Yeah, you want to give it all the likes, you want to give it all the love and share it around.
Watches that first day.
Hashtag it and things like that. That's going to be really exciting. But also keep it going. Just keep it going. Don't just binge watch 20 episodes on Christmas. That's fun to do, but
is it just US Netflix or worldwide?
I think it's worldwide. I think that's what I think that's why it's going to get so much of a bigger audience. And Aaron Waltke in the live chat, if he's still there, can hopefully correct this. But I believe it's going to have a bigger audience because not only is it going to a bigger platform, Netflix, but that they are worldwide. And I think it's maybe
remember back Discovery when it first came out was on Netflix, but overseas and not here, for example.
Yeah.
That's what I was asking.
Yeah. And don't forget to press pause every once in a while so they know that you're still there. So that the views actually count.
Or do the 10 seconds back button. That's like bonus points for them. That tells the Netflix algorithm, whoa, they really are enjoying something to want to see it over and over again, or they can't understand the dialogue.
Well, supposedly only 6 things are new on Netflix on Christmas Day. So that's good.
Ooh, that's cool.
2 the day after and just like or the day before. So that's great.
Another thing that would be really fun, everybody at home, those of you that were really good at taking pictures of airplanes or an airplane, use your screenshotting skills when you see Prodigy on the front page of Netflix. Get a screenshot of that and post it and keep it forever for history.
I was going to say like Photoshop the banner onto like Santa's sleigh.
That too.